All right, now let's talk about teenagers a bit more. In your perspective, what do you think is the biggest issue facing teenagers today?
Okay. In my opinion, or in my perspective, I think the biggest issue um, our teenagers are facing is that it's actually multiple problems. One of them is, as I mentioned, discipline. Uh, Second problem is, in my opinion, taking responsibility. Sadly, our teenagers are very, even like considerably, some people who are 18, older than me, they have very childish traits. They are unresponsible, and you can see that, for example, when you go in the streets or whatever, you see how there are like parents don't really trust or in their kids because they're not responsible, and this has also an interconnection with discipline, because if you have discipline you tend to be more responsible. uh, Generally this new generation is very, I think, weird. Maybe our like us growing up, um, maybe we were different, I don't know, but this generation, I think it needs a lot more work to get the same results as, for example, we got. Like, we as a generation, we went through harder things, but the results were much easier. This generation with technology and all of these new things, yeah, it's very hard as a parent to raise your child. Like, if your child gets raised in a good way, that means you're a very, very good parent.
Yeah, you're right. I agree with you. It's very difficult nowadays. Also, as a teacher, also I have experienced the same issue among teenagers. Now, so apart from that, also motivation and focus are other parts of students' lives. Now, how do you stay yourself? How do you stay motivated and focused on your goals, on your educational goals, and also on your future goals?
Yes. For me, in terms of motivation, let's say, I don't really have a lot of motivation. As I said, I try to focus more on discipline. However, to keep my focus on my goals, sorry, I try to have a plan. Meaning, when you want to reach a certain goal, you need to think about the goal, of course, because the goal also helps you to keep focus, because you want to reach that goal, you want to get the satisfaction of reaching that goal. This will help you a lot. However, to reach that goal and to reach with minimal obstacles, you need to have a well-built plan with specific milestones, because milestones will help you get that, how do I say it, mini achievement, thanks, or mini satisfaction. And also it will give you a sense of that, yes, I am developing, I am getting closer to my goal. I think this helps you focus a lot, and also it gives you a clear plan ahead of you to know what to do, so you don't get confused in what you should do. So, like, unfortunately, you can see in some of our generation, all of them, oh, I want to be rich, I want to do that, I want to do this, but sadly there are not a lot of action in our generation, and even if there was, it's unplanned, which sadly leads to failure. I'm not saying failure is bad, it makes you learn a lot, but also you should learn from other people's failure. So yeah, it's a very deep and wide topic.
Yeah, you're right. Now let's continue with college and future.
Yes.
What do you think is the best way to prepare for college or the future?
In terms of college, the best way to prepare for it, and this is the way I am preparing for college, is to first of all get general knowledge about everything. Don't think about what do I want to go in, what should I do. Just the start, just try to get as much information as possible to just give yourself an insight about different things, different colleges, different environments and all of this. After that, I think when you want to choose your major, for me, I chose my major by following a spectrum of 3 things. I measured on this spectrum. These 3 things were, first of all, me being passionate about this major. Second of all, this major having a future, as in that it will be needed at the time I graduate and after I graduate by years. And the third thing is that it gives good income, because at the end of the day, yes, money may not be everything, but it surely doesn't matter. So, and for me, now I chose to go into software engineering. Hopefully and inshallah I will be a successful software engineer. So I think if you follow this spectrum, you will definitely find your major. However, don't get upset or surprised if after time you found out that this may not be your passion, or you don't like this major, because at the end of the day, while you experience new things, you may find new perspectives and new things that you like. So it's very normal, and we see it a lot. Some people, they go first year, second year, and then they realize that this is not what they want, and they change. It's very normal. But the important thing is that when you feel this, don't keep it in you. It's not wrong. It's not something you should avoid, because if you avoid it, I tell you, you will regret it in the future. So, and for the future, for me, I'm preparing in terms of while I am in college. I'm going to actually before. I'm kind of confused. Okay, let me just go back to college for a bit. I forgot some. So now, okay, in this summer vacation, in every summer vacation I have something I do. I go work. I go find a job. Because in my opinion, I think it first of all fills your free time, something valuable, something knowledgeable that you may get information from and experience. And also you can use this experience in future internships or careers. And also it gives you income that you could save for further investments in the future. Now, during the next year, which is 12th grade, I will be focusing on 3 things. First thing is my studying in school. Second thing is deciding what college I want to enter and trying to get the requirements that I need to be accepted in that college. And thirdly, trying to develop as much skills in the major I want to go in and other soft skills that would be helpful for me in the future. Then we'll move on to second summer vacation or last summer vacation after 12th grade. I will still work, but of course we have the graduation and all of this. After that, during college, my future plan for college is that I will try to go into relaxing in college, while also trying to get as much advantages from the internships that colleges offer. Because as you know, in universities, in the 3rd or 4th year, you have the internship you need to do. It's compulsory for you to succeed. But however, in first year or second year or third year or any year, you have the option, if you go to your supervisor or whatever and you talk with him that you want to have an internship with a company that specializes in your major, they may find you a company. And this is very helpful because if, as I said, while developing in 12th grade and developing your skills and all of that, and also while going to college and developing yourself, you have an edge over other students. So when you go into this internship, you're making experience, first of all. Secondly, you're making money that could help you in living throughout this 4 years or how many, whatever. And the third thing, which is a very big advantage, is if the company finds you as brilliant or they like you, they may invest in you and tell you after you graduate, come work with us. So it's a very big benefit that you have already set ready work to go to. And I think if I try to manage both things with my studying, I will have a big edge on other people from my same age or my same major. Because if, for example, I succeed in freelancing and I also succeed in internship, I have a job and all of that, it will help me a lot to develop and also invest in new things so I can develop in terms of job and maybe being free in terms of money.
That was really good, the way you organized it, and it seems that you have planned everything till the time that you get the job or till the time that you have the job. How did you plan all this process?
It took a very long time actually, but I tried to, first of all, as I said, get general information about anything. I sat with a lot of people from different majors, different parts of the world. I tried to just be a good listener, and I think this is a very good skill. I'm gonna go into something else. It's a very good skill that our generation or teenagers should learn. Listening is a very good skill, because when you listen to people instead of talking or interrupting, you are getting as much information that they speak in our knowledge into your head, and you don't need to accept everything they're saying. But just listening, you can then after that eliminate thoughts. You can argue with yourself, but listening is very important, because as you listen, you gain knowledge about different things. And even when you sit with older people or people from your age or whatever, you stand out because you have knowledge. You sat with people, you are a good listener. Even people like good listeners, like people who listen to them. So yes, back to my topic.
By the way, also I have to highlight the fact that one of the main reasons that I've decided to have this episode series is just helping your students or language learners improve their listening skills. And what you said just added to my initial just the reason that while they are listening, at the same time language learners can improve their skills, and they can also learn from the content of this podcast, as you highlighted.
Yes, it's a very important skill that people underrate. And if
I agree.
Back to our topic, so I sat with other people, I've listened to them. I also followed the spectrum that I said in terms of major. It took me a very long time, but after I decided what major I want to go in, and after I gained knowledge about ways to make money, I've listened to a lot of people. I thought for myself to plan a very good plan with specific milestones. Now I planned the plan for the next year, a detailed plan. The plan after I graduate 12th grade, I have head points, that points I told you. But in detail, I haven't worried myself about it, because if I do, it will distract me from what I have to do right now. So I just have some head points, but now I just have my plan, my detailed plan for the next year, because it will determine a lot. I go into college, and when I go into college, as I said, I will try to just make as much out of it, because something people need to understand is that the time we have right now is the best time for investment, because when you invest in yourself in your young years right now, you will enjoy your life after that, because you have already worked hard, you put the work. After that, at the time when you reach the point that you don't want to work, you're not stuck with a job or you're not stuck with anything. You already have a base, so you're free, finally. Yeah. So, and I think anyone who wants to start with this line should start with services, especially us teenagers, because services is something you don't need to put any capital or money in, doesn't have any risk, just something that knowledge that you gain and you give people for money. So as I said, for example, programming is a service that you give people. When you gain capital from this service that you're selling, you could go into business or whatever you want to do. But
That was really good. Also, you've inspired me to do some stuff in my sector. Alright, and my last question is about social media. What is your opinion on social media and its impact on teenagers?
a very good question, actually. I think social media is good and bad at the same time, but it's much more bad than it is good. We'll start with good because it's a couple of things. It's good in terms of that it allows you to stay connected to the world. Yes, it allows you to get as much information as possible. It helps you a lot, but the negatives are much more, because, and I'm gonna state a couple of them. For example, social media is constructed on algorithms. These algorithms are controlled by these companies, and these algorithms work upon that. They see things you may like, and they give you a lot of them. Okay, and also social media creates a lot of social constructs that are not real or not correct. And I think social media is a good tool, but it can be a very bad tool, because nowadays, as you can see, kids or teenagers are all on their phones, and I think that's very bad, because what you see, like for example, I don't know if you may have experienced that. You were talking about something with your friend, and okay, you open Instagram, you open Facebook, pop, you see an ad about this thing.
Has it happened to you? It happened to me.
Yes, so
Happened a few times,
yeah,
which has scared me.
yeah, it does. It's very scary, because these algorithms, I'm not gonna go into detail, but it shows you that social media is very bad, because it can take control. We may be knowledgeable of that these things are just things to try to control us, yes, but these kids are raised upon these things. They cannot make a difference between what's right and what's wrong. So I think that's very bad. But generally, yes, and I think it's much more bad than it is good. And it takes a lot of time. It also affects your brain, the way you think, discipline, laziness. It really implements laziness. I think, and the solution, or let's say the medicine for something like that, in my opinion, is nature. Nature will help you recover from social media and all these things. Yeah.
That was good, very good solution. Alright, that's it for today. Thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate it. And I'm looking forward to having you again in another episode.
Very excited.
Thank you. Thank you so much.